All right, so today we're going to be reading chapter 3, Kind Good Neighbors. But I want you guys to remember that when we're reading the same book, it helps us to stop and retell what we already know. So I want you to retell with your learning coach what you already know about Mouse and Mole. I want you to talk about the things that they like to do, how they act, the kinds of characters they seem to be. Because we've already read 2 out of the 4 chapters, and they all kind of go together, as you can tell. They're not individual stories. So we have kind, good neighbors. Mole woke up the next morning feeling refreshed. He looked around his tidy hole. How nicely dark and damp it was. Nothing like Mouse's house, which was warm and bright. Suddenly, Mole pictured Mouse shivering. He remembered Mouse sneezing, Mouse bumping into the table, and Mouse smacking into the door. Why, Mouse had not even touched the worms on her plate. "Goodness," cried Mole, "how selfish of me." He buttoned his jacket and rushed out the door. Mouse washed the dishes in the sink. Rays of sunshine streamed into the kitchen. How bright and cheery things looked. Not at all like Mole's dark hole. Suddenly, Mouse pictured Mole covering his eyes. She remembered Mole walking into the wall, Mole falling off his chair, and Mole bumping into the door. Why, Mole had not even nibbled the cheese on his plate. "Mercy me," squeaked Mouse. "What a thoughtless neighbor I've been." She zipped her coat and raced out the door. Mouse tied a bow around her box and hurried downstairs. Mole finished wrapping his package and went upstairs to call on Mouse. They bumped into each other outside. "Why, hello," said Mouse to Mole. "Hello," said Mole to Mouse. "This is for you," said Mole. "I hope you don't think of me as a thoughtless neighbor." Mouse opened the present. There were 2 candles inside the box. "Bring them when you visit," said Mole, "and my hole will be less dark and damp." "Thank you very much," said Mouse. "You are a kind neighbor." Mouse handed Mole her box. "I hope I haven't been too selfish a neighbor." Mole unwrapped the package. Inside was a pair of sunglasses. "Wear them when you visit," said Mouse, "and my house will not seem so bright." "Thank you very much," said Mole. "You are a good neighbor, Mouse." Together, they strolled into town for dessert. Mouse had the cheesecake. As for Mole, a bowl of worms, lightly fried. And that's the end of chapter 3. So I want you to be thinking about how Mouse and Mole are feeling in the middle of this chapter. How did they feel towards their friend? And why do you think they felt that way? So for example, I think Mouse was feeling maybe that he was acting a little selfish because he hadn't realized that Mole didn't live in the same conditions that he did. He didn't live where it was bright and warm. So I think Mouse realized that Mole wasn't very comfortable in her house. And maybe that's why she gave him the present. So what do you think about Mole? How do you think Mole is feeling? And why do you think he feels that way?